What's up everyone, and welcome back to Top 5 Central. Today we're looking at the top 5 theme parks you can't visit anymore. Now back in March we did the craziest banned water slides, and it became one of our most popular videos so quickly, so if you want to see a part 3 where we do roller coasters, make sure to leave a like on the video right now. If we could break 10,000 likes on this video, I'll make sure to do it really soon, but with that said, let's get right into it. Number 5. Expoland. Now we all want our favorite theme parks to stick around forever, but it turns out there are some things that they just can't survive. I mean, Expoland was Japan's most popular park for over 30 years, but it only took one day to change all that. Basically, one girl died and 18 other people got hurt when one of the Expoland roller coasters literally went off the rails, and it turned out that one of the axles hadn't been replaced in 15 years. I mean, it was a huge story as some of the staff went to jail, and obviously the park closed for a while out of respect, but when they reopened, they just couldn't get people to come back. I mean, it's probably because people just didn't think it was safe anymore and no one would sponsor the park, so in 2009, it shut down for good. With all that said, you can still visit if you really want, because they turned it into a huge park that anyone could visit. Like, they even left the Ferris wheel standing in the middle of the new complex, just in case you want proof that it used to be a super popular theme park. Number 4. The American Adventure. Okay, sometimes it doesn't even take a huge crash or scandal to shut a theme park down, because once they go out of fashion, there's nothing anyone can do to bring them back. Well, that's exactly what happened to American Adventure, a Wild West theme park in the UK that was shut down basically because people just didn't care anymore. I mean, the park did pretty well at first, but after a few years, people just weren't interested in cowboys and Indians anymore. Like, most of the big attractions were shut down and replaced with kids' rides, and then even they disappeared one by one. Eventually, the whole park was just a ghost town, and even the help desk and the restaurants were just completely empty. And so yeah, that's when the government finally made the decision to shut it down, and the whole thing was pretty much demolished, so the only things left were the painted footprints showing guests the way. Even sadder, those will be gone soon too, because the park is being replaced with houses, offices, and even a leisure center, which I guess is pretty different from a trip to the Wild Wild West. Number 3. Boblo Island. Now I think everyone's heard of Coney Island, but what about Boblo Island? Does that ring any bells? No? Well, to be honest, I can't blame you, because it was shut down way back in 1993. So the quick version is the park had been open since 1898 and had a pretty crazy history, as well as what sounded like some pretty incredible attractions. I mean, they had the second biggest dance hall in the world that was apparently designed by Henry Ford himself, and they even had a 16-foot tall self-playing orchestra. Crazy, right? Anyway, the park had to deal with a lot in the 100 years it was open, like there was all sorts of lawsuits from America because of racism during the Second World War. There was also a ridiculous amount of gang violence that caused riots on the ferries, but none of those were why the park shut down. In the end, the island just got less and less popular and kept selling off rides to keep going until there were no more left. With that said though, they did set a huge record on the last day with over 17,000 people showing up to say goodbye. Also, one of the ferries had been turned into a permanent museum and replica of the dance hall, so I guess there's still a little piece of Boblo Island left. Number 2. Pleasure Island. Now, I've got to be honest, this story is pretty fascinating, but unfortunately it still wasn't enough to keep this park open. So basically, Melanie's family owned a huge theme park called Flamingo Land, which included a little add-on park away from all the main attractions, and Melanie was in charge of a bar and restaurant there called McCormick's. After a while though, there were questions about whether the little park was even worth keeping, so Melanie stepped in to save it. Apparently she made it independent from Flamingo Land and called it Pleasure Island, but in the end the project turned out to be way too big. Apparently, nothing she did could keep her numbers up, and even though the summer weather was way nicer than the UK was used to, by the end of the 6 months she just couldn't find a way to keep it going. And so yeah, that's when she decided to let the park go and announced it would be closed at the end of the season, after a special fireworks show in October of course. At least there's some good news though, because she made sure to say that McCormick's was staying open, so it'll be there for anyone deciding to visit anyway. Number 1. Looting Castle. Honestly, looking at this park story from the beginning, it kinda seems like it was cursed because it was pretty much guaranteed to close right from the start. I mean, the Castle theme park in Scotland was passed from owner to owner to owner in the first few years until it was finally passed to a huge development company. And so basically the company just kept throwing money at it, investing $7 million in the first year and $2 million in the second. Not just that, but they brought all the rides they had in storage from all over the country just to try and boost interest in Looting Castle. I mean, it was actually kind of working, but just a few seasons later they had a tragedy that changed everything. One day, an 18-year-old working there fell off a roller coaster and died after he was told to climb onto the tracks and push the coaster by hand. And so yeah, after it came out that the park wasn't training its employees properly, there was just no way to keep the park open, and it closed in 2010 with no one making any plans about what would happen next.
Just a shame it's not operating anymore. It's a brilliant ride. The castle used to be cover that area over there at the loop. Continuing on down the steps. Have to be a bit careful because it's wet. Something's wet, but this is heading towards the station. Track looking quite rusty now, so it's not been operating.
And there's our video on the top 5 theme parks you can't visit anymore. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a like down below and subscribe so you see whenever I upload a video. Also, if you have your own top 5 or top 10 idea, feel free to use our extremely handy form in the description to submit it. With that said, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.